So if you have ever been on this channel before, I love smart home devices. Making my home smarter is awesome, but also being able to check in on things, monitor things from afar, especially when you're on vacation or away from home, making sure that everything is actually operational and good. Doors are locked, closed, whatever. One item in my home that I have been unable to do that with is my lower garage door. Now I have a MyQ Chamberlain garage door opener in my main garage. Smart garage door opener, I can monitor it, I know if it's closed, I know if it's open, and I can control it from my phone. My lower garage door is a 1971 Montgomery Ward screw opener. Old as sin, but the thing is awesome. It's not one that I'm looking to replace. Actually, I know that we had looked at replacing it years ago, or I should say the previous owners, and in the distance we have from the steel beam to the opener, it's not something that's easy to replace. Nor do I want to, because the thing runs like a champion and it's 55 years old. So today I'm looking at making that thing smart. So I went on Amazon, I decided screw it, this is time to do it. This is from Meross. It is a smart garage door opener, or monitoring kit I should say, but essentially you know if it's open or closed with the sensor that's actually in here. It works with Apple's HomeKit, Amazon's Alexa, as well as Google Home. So today we're installing this bad boy. Let's get it out of the box, let's see how it comes. All right, here we go. Here's the box, how it came. Now, they do have a model that is not HomeKit certified. This one costs a little more because of that certification, but at least I can use it with any assistant that I so choose. Let's get everything out. So we have a few boxes, as well as things you need to know about HomeKit. So obviously they add that for this specific version. Everything else is out. So let's start with this lighter box. Oh, okay, so it's just a power adapter to plug it in because it's going to be USB power based. This must be the unit itself. Yep, there we go. So we have USB power cord attached. We have the trigger piece right here. Actually, this is the trigger, and this is probably for the sensor that goes on the door. Now, if you're looking to do this yourself, you do have to make sure that the garage door opener just works off a single contact closure. So all you have to do is just take a piece of wire, touch it on both of the ends to make sure that the door will open and close based on just closing a contact. So that's where this comes in. And then in here should be the sensor, right? So we have the sensor, which plugs into that little wire there on the main unit. And then the other half of the sensor that you're gonna basically attach, one's gonna attach to the door, that'd be this, and this is gonna be attached to the, probably the door header essentially, so that it stays out of the way. It does have some adhesive pieces, zip tie, and some screws, excuse me, should you actually screw either of these ends into their respective areas. So I gotta see where I wanna mount that yet. I haven't really looked yet, but that's everything that comes with it. So as we go through, there's all the pieces that I'm gonna be using, and if I use anything else, I'll make sure to let you know. Okay, well, I'm gonna stop the video right here because for the last, or I should say the rest of that evening, multiple times, I tried to get it to connect to my network and be able to see it on my phone. Now here's what's going on. My phone was, when I started the HomeKit processing of whether it was going through Meross's app or directly through Apple's HomeKit, adding that accessory, it would be blinking amber and green, and then when I would start the connection, eventually that would go solid green, which means the phone connected directly to the device told it my Wi-Fi connection information, and it now was connected to my Wi-Fi. And then my phone would say, unable to connect to network, not able to see this device, reset and try again. And I can't tell you, it probably happened over 20 times I did this. So I took my entire network from 5 gigahertz and 2.4 gigahertz, turned off all the 5 gigahertz radios. It didn't matter, it kept doing it. I tried creating a new home, a test home as it is, in my Apple HomeKit, so I have no devices in it. That didn't work. I then added a HomeKit bridge or smart, so I just took one of my HomePods and added it to my second home. That didn't do it. What I ended up doing in my specific case, because of my internet, now this might change depending on your network and what your router you have, but I literally created a separate 2.4 gigahertz only network. There's no devices on it. I connected my phone to that network. I started And that network is also bridged over to my standard network, which has 5 gigahertz and 2.4 gigahertz. That did it. I don't understand why it did it. It doesn't matter, because dumbing that down to just 2.4, it should have just been fine. But now I have a separate 2.4 gigahertz network with a separate SSID tag on my Wi-Fi system that finally worked. Now I did not, because I literally tried it 20, 25, 30 times, trying a whole bunch of different things to try to get this thing to connect. I was kind of at the end of my rope and like, I'm just gonna send this thing back. I don't understand why it's not working. Before I finally did this, and it went through. Now, I didn't film that, so that's the part I didn't film. Once you get, and it actually takes, if you've ever set up a HomeKit accessory, it asks you what room to place it into, and then it goes into it. Now I did it through the HomeKit process. If you do it through a HomeKit, then you open up the meross app and you hit the plus symbol. If you're connected to the network with that item on it, you're gonna see it. It's gonna say, hey, I found an item on your network that's not in this app, and you hit add, and then that's it. Like, it's just like, oh, okay, we're gonna do that, we're gonna bring that in, and then within about a minute, it's in the meross app as well as the HomeKit app. Now, I recommend doing that because I've had a few other accessories that I've tried from meross. If HomeKit for some reason stops working, it'll still be in the meross app. Now, I haven't had any issues with this since I did this, so fingers crossed. That said, we're gonna pick this back up. It's now installed, and because after I got it on there, I had to verify that it actually stayed connected. And I have not had zero issues with it once I finally got it on my network and able to see it and set up with HomeKit. So here we go. Okay, welcome to my garage. And this is my old Montgomery Ward screw drive garage door opener. Now, here's where we were talking about before. So you can see these two wires coming in right here that connects those two screw terminals. All I had to do is just short the distance between those two, and the garage door triggered. So I knew for a fact that this would definitely work. So literally just taking a wire and running it from that one and just touching it to the other one. So in this case, I'm gonna unplug this opener from power, and then this is where I'm probably gonna mount it over there somewhere, because I gotta get power to it, because this is actually wired. As you can see, it goes across, so I gotta get power to it no matter what. But this is where it's gonna go, is it's connecting to those two. So once I figure out where that's going, as well as where the sensor is gonna go, probably on that header row, but the sensor, the two pieces of the sensor have to be less than an inch apart when they're on the wall. So I could either go on the side or on the top, whatever makes sense. And you can see where they ran that, they just taped it to the top as they went down. So I'll probably do something like that as well. Okay, so made a little bit better of a plan here. So this is the unit here. Now I did put two pieces of that VHB tape that's on that card in here. And so this is gonna go up here like this, maybe like this. I just gotta make sure that this connection is long enough to reach those. So I might have to bring it forward. Yeah, I might just do this. I just want to stay away from this cap here, because that's where the up limit is set. I want to stay away from that, and I want to make sure it's long enough to get to those two pieces there. So right about here is probably about right. And then I obviously have to work on getting power connected. And then this would be the connection that goes up that way to the top. So, I mean, I could put it here, I guess. That'd be plenty long. So that's where I'm gonna start. I'm gonna get it disconnected first from power. Well, I might wanna get some connectors to do this more properly, but at least I am tied into the same pieces, and plenty of slack here. I could actually zip tie this up if I wanted to, and now I have that stuck to the side of the opener. Obviously I have the USB power cord, which I might have to do an extension for, which not a big deal. I have plenty of hooks to get it to where I want to get it to. But the bigger item right now is going to be the sensor. So that's what we're going to work on, sensor. The power, I'm not going to worry about too much. To get power over here, I can do that easily. So I have the sensor put right here. I have the cable ran all the way back to the opener. I haven't plugged it in yet, but I'm going to show you this after I get it in place. I might have to get some alcohol or something to clean this up a little bit. But essentially I have double-sided tape on the magnet here, and yeah, that's gonna go essentially up here like so probably. Haven't decided yet exactly how I want to do it, but we're less than an inch. Just trying to get it so it is where I want it. It is actually magnetically attaching to this bar, so that actually works pretty good. And we are definitely less than an inch, so let's find out. All right, at least this will get us started at least. We're definitely maybe half an inch between these two, and of course this is gonna lift up and away. But there we are at the header, and then I have the board going all the way back to the opener, and I'll show you back there. All right, you can see here I have the extra zip tied to the mounting arm, and then I just got to plug this in here, and of course power, and then we can get started. All right, so I do have this plugged in now, and now I just haven't applied power to it. So I do have power back at the opener again. The opener is working again. I did verify that. So we can see a green, it's going green, orange. And so it should be ready to set up, which in this case, I can set it up with the meross app, or how I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna actually just set it up directly with my HomeKit. Okay, so you can see I'm actually in my HomeKit app, and up there it's still flashing that green and orange. I'm gonna go ahead and hit the plus sign symbol right at the very top up here, hit add accessory, and I can scan the QR code that's actually on the device. There we go. I'm gonna go ahead and hit add to home. So that just went solid green now. So it tells me that it actually is getting a connection, at least of some kind. Unable to connect to network. Okay, so with this accessory not found item, basically what it is from what I'm reading with meross, is that it could be because I have both 5 gigahertz and 2.4 gigahertz on the same SSID. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into my router and turn off all the 5 gigahertz channels and just run on 2.4, because this requires 2.4 gigahertz on the Wi-Fi spectrum. So we wanna make sure that we're only connected to that, and that's what they're recommending. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that quick. Okay, so here we are. It's now in place. Everything's connected. I did run my power over as well, so it is powered up. As you can see, there it's probably hard to see, but the light is solid green. And I'm gonna get my phone out and show you what it looks like on there. So first up is HomeKit. This is obviously my home in HomeKit, and if I scroll down to Basement Garage, you can see that guy, which is the garage door opener. Right now it says closed. It obviously is closed, and I can actually go into the accessory and open it or close it. Now it will work, and we're gonna do this just to prove a point. Now it's dark outside, so yeah, it is what it is. And cold, of course, so I'm gonna get it closed right away. Now I'm gonna head back out of here. Now you can see in here, it says Smart Wi-Fi Garage Door Open. So it knows it's open. If rather than opening it up, I can just hit the little window in the top left corner. Now I have the alarm turned on. So that's what the alarm sounds like. I'm gonna show you where those settings are. Now it's closed and closing, and now it's closed. And basically what it is it's waiting to receive that little signal from the magnet that we placed up there. So now it knows it's closed. Let's go into the actual meross app. Okay, so now we're in the meross app. You can see the garage door here. I'm gonna go ahead and click on it to open it up. So you can see we can open it from there as well. So you can see there, when I opened it, you can see the alert that I got from my HomeKit saying, hey, your garage door opened. So if you didn't open it or somebody else opened it and you are part of that home, you're gonna get that notification saying, hey, somebody opened your garage door, which is also an awesome thing. I love having that. Same thing goes if I close it. Down she goes, and I should get, boom, an alert from HomeKit telling me that that's closed. I love that integration. I love getting the information and knowing that my garage is shut. Now, top right corner, I can go into the settings for this specific item. This is where I actually turned on the alarm alert. You can change, within meross app, you can set a room. I haven't done that yet because I only have one device in here. LED, you can turn the LED on or off. I'm gonna leave it on, that way I know it's good. There's a user manual, operation history. So actually we go into operation history, we can see not only if it's open, when it opened, when it closed, timestamp, but how it opened and how it closed. That's pretty awesome. I love that. Absolutely love that. So if we scroll down, we can get notification. Right now the system notification is on by default. You can turn that off if you don't want to receive it. That's up to you. The let's see, auto close, so you can have, hey, at a certain time or whatever, or fixed time close. Right now I have it set up in HomeKit to automatically do that, and I'll show you that here in a minute as well. Opening time, you can estimate how long it takes, so if you actually calculate how long it takes to open, that way it knows. But that's that. Normal press, oh, trigger duration. How long is that contact closure supposed to close for? By default, it was actually set to long press. I set it down to normal press because mine shouldn't need that long press, and you can even shorten it even more, but you can change that in there. And then of course, setup code, Wi-Fi signal strength. Right now it's a really good 100% signal strength because I'm not that far from the access point. And you can see my SSID is the Schuster 2.4, which is the new SSID that is the only device currently on. So if I have to set up a device anymore, I'm going to leave it there because that's how I'm going to set up these 2.4 gigahertz devices from here on out, is through my secondary smart home network. So that's that. Let's go back to the HomeKit app. So if I go to the HomeKit app, at the bottom there's the automation tab. So right now I actually have the smart Wi-Fi garage door opener. I have it set at sunset, make sure that thing's closed. Now the nice thing about that is it knows if it's open and it's closed, so it's not going to trigger if it's already closed. It's just monitoring whether or not it's open or closed. I want that to go down and shut anytime at sunset automatically, because that way I don't have to worry about, hey, somebody, I forgot to close it or whatever. At sunset, it's closing. There's no animals that are going to get in here. During the winter time, obviously, I'm not going to get frozen pipes because there are pipes and stuff in here. So there's just some benefits to having this. Now I can turn that automation on and off if I so choose. But the nice thing is if I'm on vacation and maybe my kids are home or whatever, I still know that's going to get shut. And of course, there's the alarm. The alarm actually will go off when it's going down. And I forgot to show you the alarm. So in the device settings in the meross app, closing alarm is one of those things for the opening time. There's where that little toggle was for the closing alarm. So that is the older version, or the oldest version, the 100 series version of the meross smart garage door opener. Now, the newer version, the 150, is going to be for more modern garage doors. The 100 series, I'm glad they still have out there, is for the older series garage doors, like this guy. This guy's not going to have any smart capability at all, and there's no sense in me replacing this because it's very tight. You can see with the steel beam. I know that it's been checked out. There's a lot of brands that won't fit, but at the same time, this thing's a workhorse. This thing is awesome, and there's no opener for it. The only smart opener now is my phone. Now, of course, it does work with your smart assistants. I can use my voice to open and close this, and of course, you can turn that control off. But for now, I'm really happy. Finally, this thing works. It was really frustrating when I couldn't get it to work, but once I figured it out. Now, of course, it may be my network issue, and if you did it on yours on 2.4, it might work just fine. But just know going in, you may have a little bit of troubleshooting to get it to connect. Once it gets connected and you can see it, zero issues. Thing has been a rock solid, awesome beast, so I'm really happy with it. And I've been testing it kind of several times throughout the day with all methods. meross app, HomeKit, my voice. So yeah, there's that. Let me know in the description what you think of it. If you have any questions, please post those below. But to be honest, head over to techgooch.com. You can get a hold of me directly through there. And yeah, in the end, I'm happy. I just gotta cut this zip tie shorter. But that's the meross smart garage door opener. Thanks for watching to the end of this video. Come back here to GeekSmart for more future video installs and tutorials. Hope to see you again soon. Thanks for stopping by.